Good afternoon. Good afternoon. This is Charles Coachman, and this is Bay Area Let's Talk. Bay Area Let's Talk. If you were in the Bay Area, you were probably experiencing some high winds this afternoon. High winds coming from Northern California heading south, and it has been a little crazy out there, watching a lot of stuff blow away. Driving down the road, and there's one of those little covers that people put in their front yards, or they have at different little events where they're put up. It's almost like a tent, and had one of those fly out to the street. So I'm going, whoa, I don't even see anybody chasing the darn thing. Anyway, weather in the Bay Area, always something new. Here we are in the dead of winter on Wednesday, February 24th, but it's 70 degrees, and we've probably got 30-mile-an-hour winds. I'm watching my tree out front just move back and forth, and watching a lot of things blow around on the streets. So it's a little crazy, and we have had some rain, but there are still a lot of areas that are going to have to be concerned about fires again. So they are talking about within the next couple of days shutting down our energy again, because they don't want the wires to spark up. So we will see. We shall see here in the Bay Area what they decide to do. One of the things that I normally do is I give a shout out for birthdays, but of my friends, there's nobody there. No birthdays today. It's a silent day for birthdays. But if it is your birthday out there, happy birthday to you. Wishing you all the very best. Enjoy your day. Happy birthday. I don't know your name, but happy birthday to you anyway. So let's take a quick look. One of the things that I like to do is talk about the companies that I am using, and to help me go live was Grow Live Academy. Grow Live Academy, that is a Ken Walls company. And this program is one excellent program. Ken has put together some excellent information, has formed a great group of people, has brought in a lot of people to talk with us about different things regarding going live and different ways of doing business. So you know what? You cannot go wrong. If you want to go live, I would check out the Grow Live Academy, growliveacademy.com. And then the second one is StreamYard.com. That's a platform that we are using to go live with. StreamYard.com, one heck of a platform. Makes it so very easy to use and so very easy to bring in additional information and others onto the screen to work with us. And we'll get a chance to see that here in just a moment. And then also Hippo Video, using that to stay in contact with my clients. And it's another terrific way when we can't go out, and I am used to going out and seeing people. I've been going out and seeing people for 13 years in the real estate business, and have seen very few clients over the last year. And I was just thinking about that. We are pushing a year now of being on lockdown. Who could ever have imagined that? I know it wasn't in my 2020 forecast or my 2021. So we will see. We will see what's going to happen here in the near future. A couple of counties, I mentioned this yesterday, a couple of counties in the Bay Area. See if I can remember. I believe it's either Sonoma County, I believe, or Marin County and San Mateo County. I know it's San Mateo County for sure, where they're going to allow 25% openings to their restaurants and stores and 10% to their gyms. So at least we're doing something, but this is a slow opening. And what we are seeing right now with COVID, and I'm only going to spend a couple seconds on this, is we are seeing COVID decline big time. We are seeing hospitalizations decline big time. Of course, now yesterday I mentioned that there are a couple of other strains that have come into California, but I was listening to a doctor from UC Medical Center in San Francisco saying, do not be alarmed by this. Do not be alarmed by this. And let's keep moving forward. We have to keep opening up. Now, this one doctor, and I don't have her name right offhand. She has been very outspoken. She thinks that what we've done in California is horrible as far as locking everyone down for such a long time. Now it's time to open up and get things moving ahead. And I think she's probably very much right. Hey, let's take a couple look at comments real quick. Scott Ricard, good morning. Good evening. Good night to you back east. Good evening. Scott, we are having a great day, a terrific day. I made some stew yesterday, and I had some for lunch, and I'm a very happy man. I'm a very chubby and very, very happy man. Bronknell, it's good afternoon here, and I'm going to guess it's good morning there. Early morning. Early morning, I'm going to guess. Don't you ever sleep? And hello, Scott. And hello, Bronknell. Yes, it's a great time to be in the Bay Area. You can't ask for better weather. 70 degrees. It's certainly not winter weather. But over this last weekend, here it is Wednesday, but this last weekend, people are out at the beaches. People enjoying the beaches in the middle of winter. And you just could not ask for a better place. More gorgeous than it is here on the Northern California beaches. I am about 40 miles from Santa Cruz, and it's one of my favorite places in the world. It's a terrific place to be, although they are not wanting people to come over from different areas. But every once in a while, you got to sneak out there and get a little smell of that salty air. So it is early morning down in the Philippines. I thought it was. Hey, I wanted to take a look. I had mentioned a couple days ago about some of the things that were happening in San Francisco and Oakland, San Jose, where Nancy Pelosi had mentioned that white supremacists were the big push behind violence in the U.S., violence right now being caused against Asian people. And I just wanted to play a little a video here that came out this morning, I believe it was. And I want to show everyone what the white supremacist looks like. So we're going to take a quick look over here. Share this real quick. Share the audio. Take a look up here. See if we can grab that. Pop this on.
I'm a Verizon engineer, part of the team that built 5G right. The only one from America's most awarded network. We designed our 5G to make the things you do every day better. With 5G
can't get past that, so I'm going to close this down for just a second. Take that down for just a second, but this will be up and I can't get through the commercial. We know how it is, but it will be on in just a second. And let everyone see what this reporter saw.
Social media by Reginald Jackson were alarming. References to beating up, robbing, and blowing up Asians ahead of the start of the Lunar New Year. These now deleted posts, which are being used in an Oakland police investigation, were sent to me by the dozen. Using these images, law enforcement quickly identified the person behind this account as a felon with a lengthy rap sheet, including attempted robbery as a minor and later weapons charges, including being in possession of an AR-15 assault rifle. Here he is posing with the firearm in his profile photo. Jackson was out on post-release community supervision until today. I stood behind him as he entered the courthouse in Dublin. Due to COVID restrictions, I wasn't allowed access into the courtroom, but listened in via live stream. This is him. After reading a list of Jackson's previous charges, the judge said he had incredible concern over the frequency of his cases and set bail at $190,000. Little did Jackson know, Oakland police, who we saw outside, worked with the Alameda District Attorney's Office and were already inside and took Jackson into custody. His next court appearance is Tuesday morning. In Dublin, Dion Lim, ABC7 News.
So that we are making sure.
So my castle has leaks.
Making sure that people understand that this problem that we are having in the Bay Area is not a white supremacy problem. I speak to you as a Native American, American Indian, and it's not a white supremacy problem. This is a misnomer that's being fed throughout the country that everything is related to white supremacy. Well, it's not. And especially these cases here in Oakland and San Francisco and in San Jose. What we have been seeing is it's usually a brown or black individual that is attacking somebody. I've yet to see a video come out of a white person attacking. And that doesn't mean that white people don't attack people. Of course they do, because there's are bad and good in every race. But I'm saying, but when the leader of the House of Representatives comes out and says these problems are because of white supremacy, that's not quite right, because I do not believe the fellow Mr. Jackson there would qualify as a white supremacist. So we've got to take a good look at that, and we have to call our leaders out when they say something like that. When they say something that we know is deceptive, we know it's a lie, we have to call them out and not let them get away with it. Now, I don't want to see harm done to any person, period. I don't care who it is, including Nancy Pelosi. But I do want our leaders to start acting like leaders. It's about time. It's about time. Hey, one of the things I had talked about a couple of weeks ago in Santa Clara County was they are taking up race-related education in the classrooms. One of the things that one of the board trustees, Santa Clara County Education Board trustees, says is they claim our program is rooted in anti-American propaganda or that it's anti-white, said Peter Ortiz, that he told to the San Jose Spotlight, and that's where I'm getting this information from. People are opposing going in and teaching critical race theory. And it's something we are changing the history of our country. We are taking it out. We are denigrating our founding fathers. We are denigrating the pilgrims who landed here, the first people that came to what is now known as the U.S., those that landed on Plymouth Rock, those that founded our nation. We are completely denigrating them. We are just tearing them down completely. And you know what? America and its leaders have made a ton of mistakes over the many years now. Although we are still considered a very young nation. We have to take a look at this, but we cannot say that everything that our forefathers did was a mistake and they were hateful racists. Hey, they made some mistakes. That was the way life was lived in those earlier years. We have seen it from biblical times that this is the way life was led. Within 100 years of the creation of our country, we eliminated slavery. Did we still need to make improvements? Absolutely. Do we still need to make improvements? Absolutely. But we are not the racist country that a lot of people are espousing. This country has more people wanting to come into it than I would think any nation in the world. So we have to really think about it. I have family that lives on reservations. They may not absolutely enjoy living on a reservation, but they say, hey, Charlie, move to Oklahoma. You can live on the reservation with us. It's only a couple $100 a month to live, and you can do whatever you want. Well, I made a choice from the time that I was a young kid that wasn't going to be my life. I was going to try and do whatever our country allowed us to do. Whatever our country affords us the opportunities, and there are a ton of opportunities. I believe that every person in our country, regardless of how poor they are or how wealthy they are, wealthy does have its privileges. Wealth has its privileges, okay, because you can buy a lot of things. But even the poorest person in the U.S., if they set their minds to doing something, they can go out and do it. They may not achieve everything they want to achieve, but they do not have to live their lives on a reservation. That's all I'm saying, is you need to go out and decide the kind of life that you want to lead. That's the choice we have got to make. We don't want our government to try and take care of us from cradle to grave. Being able to go out in the U.S. and live the life that you want to lead the life of your choosing. That's what we want to do. I believe as Americans, that's what our hearts are set on. We are going to go out and do the very best that we can. And if someone along the way needs a helping hand, we're a kind enough country where we will give that helping hand. We're that kind of country. But when you believe that we need to tear apart our country and rebuild it, that's where you're making a mistake. Let's take what we've done and build on top of it, not tear our country down and start over, because we are witnessing that throughout Central America. And we don't need that. Hey, America has its faults. The United States has its faults. But we can go out and make this a better country each and every day. It's up to the individuals to do what's right. Now I'm going to get off my soapbox, and now we're going to head into This Day in Rock. This Day in Rock. On this day in 1942, vocalist Paul Jones of the Manfred Mann Band is born in Portsmouth, England. They had some hits when they were younger: Doo-Wah Diddy Diddy, The Mighty Quinn, and then in 1977 they had a hit with Blinded by the Light, written by Bruce Springsteen. Wrote Blinded by the Light, which went to #1. And even though Bruce Springsteen didn't have a #1 hit at the time of his own, had yet to achieve that, Manfred Mann gave him one as a writer. 1944, session pianist Nicky Hopkins is born. Nicky Hopkins was one of the most talented keyboardists you could ever hear. He played with the Rolling Stones. He played on the Beatles' White Album, and he played with Jefferson Airplane and a bunch of other bands. But he played with the Rolling Stones on like a dozen albums. He was just one of the best all around. And he led a good life, but he passed away at the age of 50 in 1994. But Nicky Hopkins, thank you for all the music that you gave us. You were, and your music lives on. Thank you. Songwriter Rupert Holmes was born on this date in 1944. Or I'm sorry, 1947. 1947, Rupert Holmes. Boy, he was born in Cheshire, England. He had one huge hit. He had some minor hits, but one huge hit was the Escape song, the Pina Colada song. Oh my goodness, an earworm is already starting. The Pina Colada song. On this date in 1969, Jimi Hendrix Experience performed at the London Royal Albert Hall. Hendrix breaks up the trio shortly afterward, making this their last British gig together. And then he was to die the following year. This date in 1975, Led Zeppelin releases Physical Graffiti. Physical Graffiti. And this was a long-awaited album. I think it had been a couple years since they had released their previous one. And it went to Billboard's #1 album within 2 weeks. It was the fastest that had ever happened. So, Led Zeppelin, Physical Graffiti. You're going to have to look at that tonight. In 1976, the Recording Industry Association of America certifies the Eagles' their greatest hits as platinum. This is the first time they'd ever given a platinum disc. Well done, Eagles. Well deserved. Love those Eagles. 1979. The Police released their single Roxanne. It becomes their first American hit. Believe it or not, it peaked at number 32. 32. 32. How is that possible? Roxanne was at a red light. Come on now. How is that possible that it only made it to number 32? It was a great song. It was a great album. As a matter of fact, I was playing some Police the other night. We have a little tiny dog, and I fed it a couple peanuts, and it kind of spit one back up. And my wife says, "Don't you feed our dog peanuts anymore." And so I played a Police song called Peanuts. It was one of my favorite songs. It was a really good song. I enjoyed it. But at the end, it's like a barker calling out peanuts. Peanuts! Peanuts! Just out there screaming away. My wife goes, "Don't you dare call our dog Peanut." So, my dear, I'm not. But I am letting the world know. 1982, Kim Carnes, a former member of the New Christie Minstrels, wins a Grammy for Betty Davis Eyes. That song was everywhere. She's got Betty Davis eyes. 1982, Pat Benatar wins a Grammy for Fire and Ice. She wins for Best Female Rock Performance. I have never seen Pat Benatar in concert other than on TV. I've never seen her live. And I just love her. And I think she's just as good today as she was back then. But, hey, Pat Benatar, you still got it. And she is married to her husband, the guitarist Neil Giraldo. I think that's how you say it, if I'm not mistaken. But they've been married since the early 80s, if I'm not mistaken. And in 1992, Kurt Cobain of Nirvana and Courtney Love were married in Hawaii on this date in 1992. Kurt would only live for a couple more years. So they had a little bit of a wild marriage, but Kurt left us much too young. On this date in 1993, Eric Clapton won 6 Grammys, including Best Record for Tears in Heaven. And if that song doesn't bring a tear to your eyes, or just thoughts of somebody that's left you, which will necessarily bring a little wetness around the eyeballs, that song will do it. It gets to me every time. And I believe it was his 5-year-old son that fell out of a 50-story window. So Eric Clapton, congratulations. You had a wonderful big hit, a wonderful night, but I know that everybody knows that wish he could give it all back and have his son. 1994, 50s pop vocalist Dinah Shore dies. She had suffered from cancer. She was 77 years old, and she was the former love interest of Burt Reynolds. But she died at the age of 77 in Beverly Hills. Now, this one I don't get, but I do kind of remember it because I'm going, how much has this guy's world changed? Johnny Rotten in 1999 he emceed VH1's live Grammy coverage. This guy was the punk of all punks, and now here he is hosting live Grammy coverage. Boy, did things change. 1999 and Johnny Rotten. 2002, Paul McCartney performs Yesterday as part of a small concert tribute to his bandmate George Harrison, who had died. And this concert was held in Liverpool, and George Harrison had died a couple of months previous on November 29th of 01. November 29th of 01. Rest in peace, George Harrison. You gave us some beautiful, beautiful music. On this day in rock, the White House celebrated the music of Motown Records. Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson performed, and also Jamie Foxx. These next two I don't understand, but so did Sheryl Crow and Nick Jonas. I can see Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson, even Jamie Foxx, but Sheryl Crow and Nick Jonas, I don't know where you fit in, but hey, welcome to Motown. Motown in DC for the night. So that is it for this day in rock. I hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. Let's check these messages real quickly. So glad they got that piece of crap off the streets. And I understand what you're saying, Scott. I hope they get every one of them before they hurt another person. It has just been unreal. And they have arrested several people that have done this. They know who some of the people are. So I'm hoping that they get this done, and then we put an end to it. This is just absurd, the crimes that we're seeing for absolutely no reason, just for hate's sake, because these have been defenseless older men and women. It's just terrible. And to do that to somebody because of their race is just a terrible thing. Larry Schneider, how you doing? I'm glad you're here, Larry. Thank you for stopping in. Hello, Larry. Larry, it's Scott. Let's bring on some laughter. Peanut. It's a wonderful song. It's off Police album. You can find that. Charles, where did you start putting your music? I moved it over. I've got a Facebook page called Music of My Lifetime, I believe. I don't know what it's called. I've had it there for a while, though, and I just hadn't been using it. Oh, I'm going to put it. I put a link in there last night. I'll put another link in there today, but I think it's like Music of My Lifetime, something like that. I don't know. I created it a few years ago, and I've been putting music in there a little bit at a time, but I've just decided, you know what? I'm not going to fill up my main page with that. I am going to fill up this music spot. So I think it's Music of My Lifetime, something like that. But Scott, thank you. Thank you for your interest, and it will be there, and we'll be putting some more out there shortly. Anyway, everyone have a great afternoon. If you'd like to share this, we'd love for you to share it out. Thank you for being here. This is Charles Coachman. This is Bay Area Let's Talk, and we love having you here. Go ahead and please join us tomorrow as we do another session of Bay Area Let's Talk. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.